What's going on, guys? So it appears that Summit has continued to spout off some stupid ass shit about Halo on Twitter today, and we're gonna take a look at that right now because some of the shit he said was absolutely terrible. I mean, it's really no surprise that Summit 1G would have some terrible takes when it comes to Halo, considering he doesn't play the game. And you know, part of me feels like he's kind of just trolling in a way. Like he knows he can get a reaction out of people with some of these tweets. So I think that might have something to do with it. But what really blows my mind are the people that agree with him. Like the hardcore Halo fans, people that have been playing Halo a while, that actually agree with Summit. I don't know if you guys saw the video I put out the other day where somebody pulled a clip from Summit's stream, and I actually included a few clips of my own that I found from his stream. And basically Summit was talking about Halo. He was talking about how Halo needs to evolve. Classic Halo's boring. He said Halo 5 is the best Halo. I will link that video in the description. I recommend, I mean, it's a long video, but skim through it or whatever before watching this one. But yeah, I'll put that in the description if you want to watch that first. So today, at the time I'm recording this, Summit continued to discuss Halo on Twitter, and it started with this tweet that he put out where he said, okay, so the argument is that Halo changing core gameplay is its downfall for future games. Why didn't Halo 2 MCC succeed? People love that game so much, graphics and core gameplay. Why didn't Halo 2 MCC succeed? So, I mean, it is so clear that this man doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to Halo. Why didn't Halo 2 MCC succeed despite so many people loving Halo 2? Well, might have a little bit to do with the fact that MCC was arguably the worst video game launch of all time. If it's not the worst, it's one of the worst. Also, there's a lot of people who love Halo 2, but they like Halo 3 more. So they just play Halo 3 instead of Halo 2. It doesn't mean they hate Halo 2, they just like Halo 3 more. And also, Halo 2 is almost like a 16-year-old game now? Is that right? It's like 16 years old? You know, people get bored of games, right? That happens. There's some people who've been playing classic Halo games for a very, very long time. Like Halo 3, there's people that have been playing that for damn near 13 years now, right? It's okay to get bored and not want to play that game anymore. That is a thing. Now, Summit, he might have a point, or he'd have a better point if we got a new classic Halo game, brand new game, classic Halo, and that failed, then maybe Summit would have a better point. But even then, if that classic Halo game didn't succeed, that could also have a lot to do with the fact that people have moved on from Halo because Halo has sucked for so many years now. Like, what I'm trying to say is, I feel like a new classic Halo game would probably have done much better back in the day if it was like a sequel to Halo 3. I think it would do much better then than it would now, because, you know, people have moved on, people have gone to other games because Halo has fallen off. I mean, it had fallen off a long time ago. Halo's sucked for so many years. Reach, not a great Halo game. Halo 4 and 5, complete ass. And I shouldn't say they're complete ass. There were good aspects of those games, but compared to Halo 1, 2, and 3, they weren't great. They were terrible Halo games. They might be decent they might be great games. But they were not good Halo games. And some people hate hearing that when you say, oh, it's a good game, but it's a terrible Halo game. I don't know why people dislike that. That is a completely reasonable thing to say. But anyways, it's a pretty weak argument to point to Halo 2 MCC, which MCC was one of the worst video game launches of all time, and Halo 2 in MCC, it still has a ton of issues that were not present in the original Halo 2. And it even had more issues years ago. That's another thing. MCC didn't actually get what I would call fixed until the 2018 update, right? Before the 2018 update for MCC, that game had so many problems. It was a unplayable, unacceptable, broken mess before the 2018 update. MCC came out in 2014. Up until that 2018 update, I was still having plenty of issues joining friends, with the game crashing, and all the other weird shit that happened in MCC. If you know, you know. So there are so many obvious reasons why Halo 2 on MCC wouldn't be popping right now with everybody playing it. Alright, we just went over them. But it doesn't really surprise me that Summit would use that as one of his points to, support the idea that nobody wants to play classic Halo anymore, which is just absurd. And also, even though it's not a ton of people, you still have a lot more people playing Halo 3 on MCC than Halo 2. I mean, that's obvious. So people do want to play classic Halo. People want a new classic Halo. All right, that's what people want. They want a new classic Halo. People are tired of playing these 13, 18, 20-year-old games. But that was Summit's initial tweet, but it continued because he said some things he replied to some people under this tweet. So this one guy said, Halo 2 as in classic, ? It's a botched port of the already botched Windows Vista port, leading to problems like poor hit reg and some weapons being broken, i.e. carbine shooting too fast. Summit says, stop, this doesn't help the normal player from playing. Summit said, stop, this doesn't stop the normal player from playing. This is an annoyance from a competitor and should be fixed if actually played, in my opinion. So he says this doesn't stop the normal player from playing. I don't know exactly what he means by the normal player, but it's not so hard to believe that the hardcore fans of OG Halo 2 aren't huge fans of the MCC port of Halo 2. And also, we already went over several other things, like the fact that the whole launch to MCC was botched. It was completely broken. So Halo 2 on MCC didn't have a good start at all. I mean, there were plenty of people that bought MCC and returned it or just stopped playing it because of how broken it was and never returned. Also, there's inconsistencies between the MCC port of Halo 2 and OG Halo 2. And a lot of people have grown tired of playing the same game for 16 years. So again, if your stance is that classic Halo is boring and nobody wants to play it and enhanced mobility, that's the way forward, then pointing to the MCC is a terrible argument. That does not help your point at all. You just come off as really ignorant and it looks like you have no idea what you're talking about. And I think that is the case for Summit when it comes to Halo. Then you have this other guy who said, do you remember when Halo 2 MCC came out? I was pumped, literally bought a console just to play it. I was ready to go all in. Their matchmaking literally broke. Games that were supposed to be 4v4 were 7v1. Games that were supposed to be 4v4 were fucking free-for-alls. Sometimes 3 teams spawned in somehow. Disastrous for weeks. And Summit says, you don't currently have a Halo like that. A bad launch ruined your favorite Halo forever? ? Listen, I could just repeat all the same points again for this reply, because they apply here as well. But he says a bad launch ruined your favorite Halo forever. Just because somebody's favorite Halo was OG Halo 2 does not mean they have to like MCC Halo 2. Like, I love Halo 3, my favorite game. And when MCC first launched, I hated that version of Halo 3. I had rather played any game but that version of Halo 3. That version of Halo 3 was dog shit. I didn't want to get anywhere near that. I don't know of all the inconsistencies between MCC Halo 2 and OG Halo 2, because I don't follow that game as closely as I do Halo 3, but I do know that the game has its issues in MCC. Then this guy said it had a terrible launch and wasn't fixed for like 5 years. Summit says, so now, what do we want then? We're past that game now. So I guess he's saying, oh, it's fixed now, so we should all be playing it, right? Well, it's not completely fixed, and again, I can list the same points over and over and over again. Some from the bad launch of MCC that turned some people away who never returned. The games in MCC have their problems that were not there in their original releases. And these are very old games. People want something new. And just because some people want to play Halo 5 now, doesn't mean they like Halo 5 more than classic Halo. They might just want something new. They might just be tired of playing the same game for 5, 10, 15 years. Hidden Xperia says, people want a new game that brings Halo 2/3's core gameplay into the modern day. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. We've been playing those games for years, and as much as we love them, they're old now. Boom, boom, boom. Facts. We need a new game that carries its philosophies forward and feels new, not old and rehashed. Then Summit replies to Hidden Xperia saying, what isn't core gameplay about Halo 2 MCC? It has the core. Graphics aren't good enough? See, no. See, Hidden Xperia was not saying that Halo 2 didn't have Halo's core formula. He was saying that we want a new, modern Halo that stays true to Halo's core formula that everyone grown to love through Halo 1, 2, and 3. That's what he was saying. So Summit just completely misunderstood that. Again, he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to Halo. And I think he knows that. I guess. I don't know. I think he's just having... I feel like he's just having fun with this. I do feel like part of this is like... I do feel like these are his honest opinions, but in a way, like he wants to piss people off. I don't know. I mean, these are some really terrible takes, but who knows? So that was Summit's first tweet. Then he tweeted out, so wait, it's not about core gameplay and graphics then? The MCC launch ruined Halo for you? ? My confusion continues. So I don't know exactly what he's getting at with this one. He says it's not about core gameplay and graphics then? Well, no, it is about core gameplay. We want a new Halo title that stays true to Halo's core formula and gameplay. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. No, Halo can change, Halo can evolve, but stay true to that core formula. And as for graphics are not everything. I don't care too much about graphics. That being said, Halo Infinite's graphics should have looked a whole lot better than they did. That was embarrassing, and that art style looked terrible and way too cartoony. There wasn't much of a problem with keeping Halo looking like Halo from Halo 1 to 2 to 3, and even Reach. He says the MCC launch ruined Halo for you? ? I mean, yeah, it ruined it for some people. A lot of people returned and kept playing. I still play it. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to say there. Just because you don't want to play the MCC in 2020 does not mean that you don't like classic Halo or you think it's boring. We want a new classic Halo title. A lot of people do. You know, I still play MCC. I still hop on I don't grind it. I don't grind Halo like I used to, but I still play MCC. I still play Halo 3, and I can still have fun on there. Even though it can be kind of difficult to have fun on there when you're solo queuing and matchmaking, and when the shot reg is god-awful. I can't wait for that shot reg update that we'll be getting next week. But there are some people who love classic Halo, and they just don't want to play these old-ass games anymore, okay? Like, that is a thing. That's fine. Then Summit went on to tweet out, if Halo 5 didn't blow so much ween on PC, I'd be playing it. I guess he was saying this in response to all the people calling him out for barely playing Halo 5, even though he says it's the best Halo. I mean, if he really thought Halo 5 was such a great game, he could play it on Xbox. Also, it's Summit. He can get people to fill custom lobbies with Halo 5 on PC. So this tweet's actually pretty funny because he says, if Halo 5 didn't blow so much ween on PC, I'd be playing it. Implying that Halo 5 on PC isn't that great. But if it was, he'd be playing it. Summit, there's also people who would love to be playing Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, but they don't because the games in MCC have issues that were not there in the original games. So people feel that the MCC ports of these games suck, and they don't play it because of that. And you're saying right here, if Halo 5 didn't suck on PC, you'd be playing it. So you're calling others out for not playing what they claim to be their favorite Halo, and then you say you don't want to play your favorite Halo because it sucks on PC, but the reason they don't want to play their favorite Halo, being Halo 1, 2, or 3, is because it sucks on MCC compared to their original releases. Okay. Like what? So that doesn't make any sense, but then Summit says the Halo community is so split, but is it really? Halo 4 is the worst Halo? No, I'd say Halo 5 is the worst Halo. And in this tweet, Doc responded saying map design underrated. That's a weird fucking thing to say. Halo 4's maps were terrible, but okay. So now, that's it from Mr. Summit, from what I've seen. But now I want to take a look at some replies from Mr. Postums. So for those of you who don't know, Postums, he's a 343 employee. He's usually pretty active on Twitter. He actually recently blocked me, which is pretty weird because I don't know that I've ever communicated with him on Twitter. If I have, it's because he replied to one of my tweets and then I responded to him. I don't know that I've ever said anything to him without him saying something to me first, but maybe I did once. But even if I did, it wasn't anything bad. It was harmless. So yeah, he just blocked me out of the blue like last week. No idea why. He was following me. He was following me up until the point that he blocked me. Really, really fucking weird. I don't understand it. I'm guessing he saw me post something that he didn't like, whether that was Halo related, political related, I don't know. But you know, if you're following somebody that you don't like his tweets, you could just unfollow. But he just went for the block, and I know that I didn't say anything bad. So really weird. From what I've heard, Postums has blocked plenty of people. I don't know how many of them deserved it, how many didn't, but he has blocked a ton of people. Postums always loves to say, my Twitter is my own. My Twitter is my own, when people call him out for blocking. And yeah, that's fine. Your Twitter is your own. You can do what you want. You can block whoever you want. That's fair. But that doesn't mean you're not blocking people for some stupid ass reasons, okay? That doesn't mean you don't have some stupid ass takes because your opinions are your own. So yeah, your Twitter is your own. You can block whoever you want. But it's just a bad look when you go and block somebody out of the blue that you're following when they haven't said anything bad, when they're not even saying anything to you, when I don't even think we've ever had a bad interaction. I've talked shit about 343, but when I do that, I'm talking about the company. When it comes to game development, okay? Nothing's personal. So I'm guessing he saw something on my feed, he disagreed with it, and he's like, oh my, I can't believe this guy, and just blocked me. Such a cowardly thing to do. So anyways, Postums, he responded to Summit's initial tweet where he said, my 2 cents from watching and interacting with the MCC community for 3 years now is this. Legacy players can't accept changes unless you allow them the freedom to accept or reject them. They want the ability to make the changes optional or be able to curate their experiences. Okay, so he says that's what he's seen from watching and interacting with the MCC community for 3 years now. Okay, so that's fair if that's what you've seen, but I can tell you right now, there's plenty of people that just want a good Halo game. A good classic Halo game of Return the Form. We don't care if we have control over it or not. I speak for many of us. And when I say we, I'm talking about classic Halo fans, advocates for classic Halo. He says legacy players can't accept changes unless you allow them the freedom to accept or reject them. That is just not true for so many people. That is just not the case for so many. We can accept changes. We just want good changes. I love this oversimplification. You know, I've seen this before from people in the community who act like some Halo fans, they'll just never be happy. They'll never be happy. And you know, I think people like Postums and other employees at 343, I think they tell themselves the same thing as a way to justify people being mad when they put out a new game. And it's just a cop-out. Like, even though their game may truly be bad and the frustration from fans may be warranted, 343, they might just tell themselves, oh, they'll never be happy, they'll never be happy. Even though their complaints are justified. This is not the case. This is not the case. It's not like we, classic Halo fans, will never be happy. Listen, you haven't even given us a good Halo game yet. You haven't even tried. You haven't even given us a classic Halo game yet. You still have yet to do that. So what do you mean we'll never be happy? You never gave us what the fuck we were asking for. A new classic Halo game. We never got it. Like, what? Like, holy shit, man. Like, how dense are you? So if Halo Infinite comes out and classic Halo fans don't like the game because of things like sprint and clamber, grappling hooks, and whatever other abilities are in the game, that doesn't mean, oh, we'll just never be happy. That means we just don't like that shit in Halo. We have sound arguments for why abilities ruin Halo and how it significantly changes how the game plays. It strays too far from the core formula that was Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, up until the release of Halo Reach. That is 9 years of Halo. 9 years of classic Halo. 9 years of good Halo. Great Halo. It's not like Halo was a one-hit wonder. They put out one good game and all the rest were shit. No, we're talking about 9 years of great Halo. 9 years? That's enough to define a franchise. Not saying the franchise has to stay the same and can't change or evolve, but it has to stay true to what it is. And what is Halo? Well, what it was for the first 9 years. I would love Halo to change. I would love Halo to evolve. That'd be great for Halo. But it has to stay true to that core formula. It's as simple as that. I mean, well, how do you do that? You have it right there in front of you. Halo 1, 2, and 3. There it is. And then Halo Reach. Something went wrong. People didn't like it. What could it be? I don't know. Reticle bloom? Armor lock, jetpacks, and sprint? I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it. But instead of learning from Halo Reach, what do? What do? We make sprint a default mechanic in Halo 4, and you get to pick an ability to go along with it. They added Promethean vision so you could see through walls. Ordnance drops and fucking loadouts and hit markers. No D-scope. What the fuck were we doing? Halo 5, instead of having to pick one ability, you spawn in with seven different abilities. Not the same abilities that were in Reach and 4, but still 7 different abilities that drastically change how Halo plays. So guys, postums. You guys haven't learned from your fucking mistakes. You haven't. So don't even try to act like we'll never be happy. That's not the case. Let's give us a classic Halo. Let's try and let's see how that goes. But I'm sure that'll never fucking happen. And again, today Halo isn't where it was, back in the Halo 3 days, right? Because it fell off. Because of 3 shitty Halo games in a row. 4 if you want to count MCC's broken launch. We haven't had a good Halo game release since 2007. That's almost 13 years. So, yeah. It's been 13 years without a good Halo game. And because of that, because Halo fell off, because it's not nearly as popular now as it was, even if you give us a phenomenal Halo game, phenomenal classic Halo game, I don't think it'll do as well now. Not as well as it would have done if it was a sequel to Halo 3 back in the day when, Halo was on fucking top. And the reason I bring that up is just because I know if we ever did get a classic Halo game, people would be comparing numbers like, oh, look, Halo 3 had a population of this, and this new classic Halo game is not even close to that. Or, oh, Halo Reach, Halo 4, you guys say that game was those games were terrible, but those had higher population numbers than this new classic Halo game. So not having a good Halo game in 13 years is a factor. We should all be mindful of that. I believe a modern day classic Halo game would do great, but it might not do as good as it would have done if it released back in the day, following Halo 3. That's all I'm saying. So then Postums went on to say, in the most hardcore of hardcore, there are many who can float across all the Halos with ease, but there are truly those who only play 1 or 2 or 3 or Reach or 4 or even 5. No Halo will ever be good to them as it's not a replica of each individual game. Who is he talking about? Damn near every classic Halo fan I know doesn't want a replica of Halo 1, 2, or 3. We want something new. Something new. Still classic, still staying true to that core formula, but new. I don't want a replica of Halo 3. Halo 3 is my favorite game. I do not want another Halo 3. I want to hate Halo 3. I want to hate all the classic Halo games, right? I want a new classic Halo game to be so fucking good that I hate Halo 1, 2, and 3, and I never want to play it again. I want to hate Halo 1, 2, and 3. That's what I want. I want to hate those games so much because the new classic Halo game is so good. So get the fuck out of here with that replica shit. I know he's saying this is what he's seen, but who told you that they want a replica of these old games? Is that what you've just inferred from things, or did people actually tell you that? I'm curious. Because damn near every classic Halo fan I know does not want a replica of Halo 1, 2, or 3. They want a new classic Halo game. So then, Postums goes on to say, MCC is a unique piece where we have all of the classics and some of the more modern. We get to see player patterns try expanding old sandboxes. If you go all in, players will reject. We learned this from the yappening in Halo Wars, but if you sprinkle optional changes, it's okay. There will be pushback from some, like red names in Halo CE to make all the games have red names on enemies for all the games in the collection. But if you make it something you can turn off that's not how OG was, it's accepted by more. Well, yeah, I like that. I like being able to turn those things off, give us the option. Classic medals, new medals, red names, normal names, skins for Halo CE, you can turn them on or off if you want to see them. That shit's good. I like that. And then Postums goes on to say, finding fun new ways to create additions to the old experience is key from what I've seen at least, like additional skulls, additional weapons, and growing the sandbox that exists. I'm all for that. There will always be folks who prefer a specific game. I have a best friend who is like that. So yeah, I like changes such as that, like adding skulls or vehicles and weapons and even skins is cool to these older games, right? I would like more weapons to be added, maybe more maps and developer made maps. That's cool. I would love that. But even if they did start adding content such as that to the old games in MCC, I still don't think it would bring a ton of people back to the game because many people just want a new classic Halo game. And then Postums replied to a few people. So this guy, Big Gray Donut, he quote tweeted one of Postums' tweets, and Big Gray Donut said, "That is not true though. Classic fans want a new game to come out that has the core classic gameplay, but adds new experiences. We don't want a carbon copy of the old games." Like I was just saying. Release a game with classic principles and go crazy with your creativity. That's what we want. Thumbs up. So then Postums says, you say this as if your view and perception of what they want is in fact the only reality that exists. No, I don't think that's what he was saying. There is no one true answer because there are many answers and many views. Many people want many different things. Okay, so this is where we kind of get into the whole section of all opinions shouldn't carry the same weight. I made a video about this back in the day. Some of you might have seen it. And then Tommy Cost, he made a video expanding upon my video. But yeah, I still stand by that. All opinions shouldn't carry the same weight. So Postums talks about many people wanting many different things, right? So we talk a lot about what classic Halo fans want, but there's also fans of newer Halo. Newer Halo. Meaning Halo that isn't Halo. There are many rational arguments that can be made to support the claim that Halo 4 and 5 are not Halo, besides the name of the game being Halo. Some of the additions to those games, such as abilities, drastically change the way those games play, to the point where it strays way too far from Halo's core formula, to the point where it doesn't even feel like Halo anymore. I could do a whole video about why I feel like Halo 4 and Halo 5 shouldn't be considered actual Halo games, why they don't feel like Halo, and I have talked about this in plenty of videos in the past, but that's not this video. We had classic Halo for 9 years. 3 classic Halo games, Halo 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I think 3 games and 9 years is enough to define a franchise. Again, it can change, it can evolve, but it still needs to stay true to what it is. I think 343 should be striving to give us a solid Halo experience. Not striving to please the fans of games that don't feel like Halo. Because we're talking about Halo. 343, you develop Halo games. So let's go back to the highly successful Halo 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy. Classic Halo. Halo was popping back then. I think Halo would have continued to do great if it hadn't fallen off like it did. And, 343 just fucking drove it into the ground, final nail in the coffin. So I understand there are fans of newer Halo, which isn't Halo, or enhanced mobility Halo, whatever you want to call it. But 343, I won't say you created this problem, because this really started with Reach, with the addition of things like, Sprint and the other abilities. But you built upon this problem and made it something more severe than it had to be. So now you have fans of old Halo and new Halo, because you couldn't correct the mistakes that were made with Reach. I mean, it seemed like you were on the right path when you guys got control over Halo and you started pushing out updates to Halo Reach. You gave us the TU settings, Zero Bloom. It seemed like you were on the right path, and then that all went out the window with Halo 4 and you gave us Call of Duty. And then Halo 5, you failed to learn from mistakes again. So a big reason that we have this split in the community is because 343 didn't listen to the community years ago. That's the problem now. So I don't care that we have fans of the newer Halo games now, right? These are terrible Halo games. This isn't Halo. Right? People can like whatever they want to like. I'm not gatekeeping. People say I'm gatekeeping. No, you can like whatever you want. You can like whatever you want. Halo 5 might be a great game. I'm saying it's a terrible Halo game. But we shouldn't be catering to people that want things that aren't good for Halo. Like, what if I want fucking Halo to be more like Fortnite? I want building in Halo. What if a ton of people want building in Halo, right? We want it to be like Fortnite. We love Fortnite, right? Do we cater to all of us that want that for Halo? Even if that is a terrible addition to Halo? You know what I mean? It shouldn't be about who you cater to, classic or new fans. It's not about that. It's about giving us a good Halo game. A solid Halo experience. That is what it is about. Halo 1, 2, and 3, for the most part, seems like they are the most beloved Halo games in the series. And for good reason. Those were the glory days of Halo to many. And during those times, that's when Halo was bigger than it's ever been. When we had those 3 great games. For those 9 great years. I mean, Halo 3 was like most played Xbox game. Most played Xbox 360 game for like 2 years straight. And then I think on the 3rd year, it was still up there pretty high. That's insanity. That's crazy. And it's not a coincidence that Halo started to fall off right around the time we started to get, bad Halo games with abilities. I'm talking about Reach. And Reach wasn't a terrible Halo game. Reach is in the middle for me. I think there were some good aspects of it, but it had a lot of bad additions in it as well. I think Halo Reach is a hell of a lot better game than Halo 4 or 5, but I'll put Halo 1, 2, and 3 above Reach. And I would talk more about Halo's decline, even though it's kind of obvious why Halo died off, but I already have another video recorded talking all about that, so expect that soon. And also, going back to the all opinions shouldn't carry the same weight, I also think we should be catering to people who are going to be playing the game more. So let me elaborate on that, all right? If you got a ton of people, I don't know, 50 people advocating for Classic Halo, right? I mean, it's more than that, but let's say there's 50 people that want Classic Halo. All 50 of these people play the game, or they play Halo all day, every day, right? They've been playing MCC, been playing Classic Halo. They never stop. They love Halo. They put so much time into the game, right? Well, then let's say you have 50 people who want enhanced mobility Halo, right? These people play the game 5 hours a week. Shit, let's say it's 100 people that want enhanced mobility Halo that play the game 5 hours a week. I say we cater to the people who are going to be putting in the most time. I understand not everyone is in a position where they can just sit and grind a game. I get that. But I am just saying we should, their opinion should carry more weight. Those who are playing the game more and have been playing Halo for a very long time. And that's not biased. I'm not just saying that because I'm one of those people who played a ton of Halo and has been playing for a long time. No, like even in other franchises, I wouldn't want my opinion to carry the same weight as some others in other games. Like I have some terrible opinions for other games. I wouldn't want the devs to listen to me over other people who've been playing it their whole life and put a ton of hours into the game and they know what's best for the game. Like shit, in Gears of War, I can't stand the whole, the wall mounting and vaulting over the wall type shit. I hate all that, the hugging the wall. I wish the movement was more like Halo. Now, would the Gears of War community like that? Probably not. So you probably shouldn't listen to me on that. So yeah, I'm not being biased. Like when it comes to another gaming franchise, I do not expect my opinion to hold more weight than those that have been playing the game their whole life and they still put a ton of time into the game. No, I wouldn't want my opinion to hold as much weight as theirs. No. And like look at that. I know you guys saw that clip recently during the it was the Bud Light tournament, right? The Bud Light Halo 3 tournament. I think that's what it was. With where there was that clip of Shroud where he's like, oh, he was playing Halo 3 and he was like, oh, this game needs sprint. There's no movement. You need sprint.
Bro, you're stuck to the ground. How slow do you move in this game?
Come up a little
Is there a
bit.
fucking sprint? Can I sprint? Fuck. Wait, can you sprint, actually? 'Cause that would be awesome.
Oh my god, yeah.
Bro, there needs to be a sprint in a game like this. There needs to be.
One's running up.
There's no mechanics, no movement. Give me some movement.
Ooh, what a nade.
How often does he play Halo 3? How often? You see, adding sprint to Halo 3 would destroy that game for so many. So many would hate it and wouldn't even play it if there was sprint in that game. How much would Shroud be playing it if they did add sprint to the game? How much you think he'd be playing then? Huh? How much? This is why all opinions shouldn't carry the same weight. Okay, this is just common sense, but I don't know. I guess 343, they're just in this mindset of, no, we care about everyone. We all inclusive, everyone's opinion. They all hold the same amount of weight. Okay, we care about everybody. I kind of feel like that's how they operate. Even though it makes logical sense that all opinions shouldn't carry the same weight. They don't fucking care, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that's just about it for this one. I know this is a longer video, but there's a lot I wanted to cover, a lot I wanted to say. Look, pointing to these very, very old Halo games and how not a lot of people are playing them anymore, especially in comparison to other games, that is not a good argument if you're trying to say people are bored of classic Halo. They don't like classic Halo anymore. Everybody wants enhanced mobility Halo. It's not a good argument. These games are old. The games have their problems in MCC, MCC didn't get fixed until like 4 years later. People want a new classic Halo game. We haven't got that yet. It's not like we got that and it completely flopped. That never happened. The Halo games have arguably been getting worse since Reach. I'd argue they have been. Right? We haven't even come close to returning to classic Halo. We haven't even come close. So maybe you people that say classic Halo is boring, no one wants to play it anymore, you'd have a better argument if we got a new classic Halo game and it completely flopped, but that hasn't happened. Nothing close to that has even happened. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. A lot of terrible Halo takes on Twitter these last couple days, man. I'll tell you. Like, if people would just think about what they're saying before they say it and just, think logically, I think, I think things would be a lot better on Halo Twitter. So I've said everything I wanted to say in this video. Let me know what you guys thought about all this. I read all my comments. I don't reply to them all, but I read them all. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.